That's my jam. Hey, what's the matter with you?
I still don't know it.
Hey, sing along with me, bro. Hey, what's the matter with your mind and your fine and your...
Bear, Willie, Elora, and Cheese are 4 teenagers who live in a small reservation town in eastern Oklahoma, calling themselves the Reservation Dogs. They are not just typical high schoolers, but also petty criminals who spend a lot of their days carrying out thefts, intending to leave their town one day forever. Aiming to move to California as soon as possible, the friends begin their day by robbing a truck full of potato chips. On their way to the buyer, they pass by Officer Big, who is too busy with his phone to even notice the dragging ramp of the truck. After finally reaching the salvage yard, the friends encounter Ansel, the mechanic working there, who directs the gang to his boss, Kenny Boy, with Kenny Boy buying the truck from them. A while later, the Res Dogs are paid a surprise visit by Officer Big at their unofficial chip stand. He informs the group about the recent theft and asks if they know anything about it, to which everybody responds, no. After scaring the kids about the Deer Lady, a protector in native folklore, Big returns to his work. Meanwhile, the friends have saved enough money and only need 2 more months of earnings to make it to Cali. On their way back home, they're approached by a group of masked teens, who shoot at them with paintball guns. Unlike the others, Bear goes unconscious, only to find himself in a garden with the spirit of William Knifeman, a self-proclaimed warrior who died at the Battle of Little Bighorn. He was killed when his horse tripped in a hole and fell on him. After telling about his past, William asks Bear what he and his thuggy friends are doing for their people, telling him it is easy to be bad, but hard to be a dignified warrior, and then leaves. Just then, the Res Dogs are approached by Mose and Mecco, who tell them about the newcomers who shot at them and call themselves the NDN Mafia, consisting of the leader Jackie, her cousins, and their friend White Steve. After they had heard from Mose that the Res Dogs were the toughest gang in town, they had started looking for them to claim their superiority. Afterward, the friends head to the Rob and Cleo store, only to encounter the truck driver there. They overhear that after losing his truck, he got fired, his wife left him, and on top of everything, he couldn't even afford to buy food. The driver's story strongly affects Bear's mind, forcing him to think about how he is ruining his own people's lives. Unlike Bear, Elora doesn't care about it because she believes their town is already terrible and is even responsible for their friend Daniel's death. She wants to leave it at all costs, even if it requires stealing. However, the following day, Elora visits Bear's house and agrees to repurchase the truck from Kenny Boy to give it back to the driver. To achieve a sense of satisfaction, the gang visits the salvage yard only to learn that Kenny has already sold the truck. With their day already being sad, they can't control their tears at Daniel's annual memorial service. The following day, Jackie attacks Bear with her gang and kicks him until his nose bleeds. While unconscious, Bear once again has a vision of Williams. This time, the spirit makes him realize how everyone tries to escape their problems. Just like Bear is running away from this town only to dream big in California. Their conversation is cut short as Bear needs to go to the tribal clinic, while Elora, Cheese, and Willie set up a meat pie stall outside the clinic. Bear quickly heads to the reception and fills out the information for a checkup. While Bear waits for his turn, Cheese steals some chocolates but ends up getting caught by one of the receptionists. After giving him free chocolate, she offers an eye test that Cheese badly fails, compelling her to refer him to Dr. Kang. While Cheese gets treatment for his eye, Elora feels a stomachache bad enough to go to the clinic as well. She is soon called by Dr. King, who informs her that her stomach lining is inflamed with tiny ulcers, probably due to the 14-hot flame bag of chips she eats per day. After Elora is prescribed to switch to bland foods, Bear gets a painkiller for his swollen nose. During Bear's checkup, Dr. King learns that his dad doesn't live with them and takes it as an opportunity to hit on Bear's mom, Rita. Sometime later, the Res Dogs engage in a fight with the Indian Mafia outside the clinic, drawing everyone's attention to the drama. However, Rita and Officer Big break up the fight and instruct everyone to return to normalcy. While everybody was busy with the gang drama, Cheese has his own moment when he befriends an older woman in the clinic and gets a grandma he never had. With the old woman calling Cheese her grandson, he can't shake off the feeling of an unbreakable bond with her. The frequent threats by the Indian Mafia have compelled the Res Dogs to learn fighting techniques from Elora's uncle Brownie, who once knocked down 20 people at a bar in 2 minutes. Arriving at Brownie's home in the woods, Elora tells him the reason behind their visit, and he eventually decides to help them, after recalling the precious memories of Elora's dead mother, Cookie, but only if they help him sell his old weed in town. The deal is locked, and the group heads to town where Brownie tries his best to sell his weed. But due to the new and strong government legalized weed, nobody wants to buy his old stuff. With no option left, the group visits the dispensary, but to no avail, as the bud tender is not a fan of 1990s weed either. After the bud tender offers Brownie a taste of the new high-quality product, he finally realizes what he has been missing. While learning to punch or be prepared for a surprise attack, Willie asks for Brownie's help with something else. Using Jackie's hair, which she got from Auntie B, she wants to put a curse on her. Despite knowing how to do it, Brownie refuses the idea, saying that bad luck medicine can turn back tenfold. Anyways, as he doesn't want to waste his weed, he knows some folks who might appreciate it. The same people he knocked down that night in 2 minutes. At first, everyone seems angry at their old acquaintance, but after Brownie makes them realize how he was high on meth back then, they finally decide to forgive him. As a peace offering, he sacrifices his weed and backstraps that Bear and his friends had planned to eat. While preparing the meat, Brownie finally realizes the side effects of living alone in a house, ashamed of what he once did to those people, and thanks Elora for taking him out to town. While the adventure brought back happiness in Brownie's life, it also brought some luck to Willie's, as she persuaded Brownie's friend to do magic on Jackie, using her hair. At Ritas Work, the clinic has invited Bear's father, rapper Punkin Lusty, to their next anti-diabetes wellness fair. However, Rita becomes worried, not because Punkin doesn't support his son financially and hasn't visited him in over 2 years, but because he always promises to show up only to cancel his plans at the last moment. As Punkin gets ready for his upcoming project, Bear prepares for his father's arrival at the grocery store. While shopping, Elora meets Jackie, who knows she has been saving money to go to California, saying that the other kids do not seem as serious as Elora and extends an invitation to join the Indian Mafia. Unwilling to betray her friends, Elora rejects the offer right away. To welcome his father with a special gift, Bear visits Auntie B, wanting to buy her famous beadwork. For a custom-made product and an urgent delivery, Auntie B charges $90, scaring the hell out of everyone. Unlike Elora, who doesn't want to waste their savings on costly gifts, Bear locks the deal, intending to return every penny. Meanwhile, Rita dates a stranger named David from the bar, and ends up waking up in his bed the next day. Everything seems perfect in this relationship, including a nice house and David's job, until Rita sees in him a racist plantation field owner. Being a native, she quickly leaves the place, never to return. Meanwhile, Bear receives his $90 worth of a beaded necklace, and even buys a brand new suit for the special day. Seeing the misuse of their money, Elora finally speaks up about her concerns. She is infuriated at Bear for spending their cash without even asking about it. The following day, As Bear is all dressed up to meet his dad, he gets a call from him. It turns out that Pumpkin somehow got late due to a night party with his friends, but tells Bear that his flight was canceled and he won't be able to make it. Seeing him saddened, Rita comforts her distressed son and invites his friends for a movie night to deal with his disappointment. While everybody is busy enjoying the movie, Elora leaves the house only to get a hello message from Jackie. A new day brings a new adventure for Cheese as he joins the youth program as a detective. To learn more about the system and the responsibilities of a cop, he will spend the entire day with Officer Big. Today's case is to solve the mystery of some catfish heads scattered everywhere in a mysterious place. Being a true believer in folklore, Big thinks it is Bigfoot activity. When Cheese makes fun of him, Big begins to narrate how he used to see supernatural activities in this town. One day, he went to a grocery store to grab some cigarettes for his grandma, but due to an upset stomach, he went to the restroom there. As he shouted for toilet paper, some masked men broke into the store to rob the place. Unlike the owner, a shopping woman seemed relaxed even with a gun pointed at her. In the bathroom, Big could only see a deer-hoofed lady handing him over the toilet paper. Afterwards, the deer lady departed the store, leaving 2 dead robbers in her wake. Back in the present, Cheese and Officer Big are called to look for a culprit responsible for putting weird copper sculptures all over town. As they are having lunch, Big is called again to watch for a baby blue pickup stolen from someone's yard. Soon, they find the truck, with Bucky, a known local, driving it. He has stolen the vehicle because its owner doesn't use it anymore. Surprisingly, he is also behind those copper sculptures, which he thinks have antimicrobial properties that fight diseases like cholera. According to him, all the old natives used to wear a whole lot of copper back in the day because it warded off diseases and evil spirits. This is why he hanged the copper sculptures around people's houses. As Bucky isn't an evil man, Big spares him before ordering him to return the truck. Later, Cheese asks Big a final question. Why did he join the tribal police? It turns out that he was once approached by the deer lady who threatened to harm him if he would become a bad guy. That incident motivated him to become a good person and hunt down the bad guys. While Cheese enjoys the story, the deer lady is shown to continue her work of seducing bad men to certain death. When hunting season begins, Willie and her father Leon plan to go hunting together. After printing a trail cam picture of a deer named Chunk, which she and Daniel saw 3 years ago, she wakes her dad up and prepares him for today's hunt. It turns out that Daniel was her cousin. After his death a year ago, Willie and Leon had a pretty hard time, with hunting being all they have to relive their memories with Daniel and give each other the attention, love, and support they need throughout the year. Putting war paint on their faces, they sit down and wait for the deer to come. While talking to Willie, Leon assures his support for her California dream, but he doesn't think she would be happy there, since everybody who leaves the town finds themselves returning to their roots, and Leon thinks Willie will do the same. While Willie talks about becoming an MMA fighter, gourmet chef, or dog rescuer, Leon makes her realize the benefits of living in a lush green town filled with good food and her own people. After having quite an emotional conversation about Daniel and recalling his precious memories, Leon finally reveals what he saw in the forest some time ago. As he was bringing bags of deer corn to the woods, he saw a mysterious hairy figure with red eyes staring at him. This is why he couldn't hunt and give his daughter the time she needed. Willie thinks it was Daniel's spirit who came to say goodbye. The two then cry over their friend's death and embrace each other before hunting down the deer and leaving the forest to go home. As they leave the place, the same hairy figure stares at them from afar. A year ago, everything seemed perfect in the lives of the Res Dogs. Everybody was happy with their lives, except Daniel, who spent most of his time at his Uncle Leon's place. Escalating fights between his parents forced him to remain outside his house as much as possible. He started to dread it so much that he was ready to do whatever came his way as long as it kept him away from home. One day, after sensing his discomfort, Elora decided to stay with Daniel, while the other gang members went their own ways. Alora took him to a dance club and spent a fun night with him, talking and laughing. It became late, and Daniel still didn't want to go home. However, he assured Alora that he was all right. Before leaving, he asked her if she wanted to go to California with him, to which she replied, yes, revealing that escaping to California was actually Daniel's dream. In the present day, Alora is doing her driver's test, and luckily for her, her old basketball coach and friend of her mother, Garrett, is her instructor. However, the test takes an unexpected turn, when Garrett has to retrieve his daughter from her bad friends. After finding his daughter, she runs away again, and her friend shoots their car. To get the car's taillight repaired after the shooting, the duo heads to Kenny Boy's scrapyard. Waiting for the repair, Alora asks Garrett about her mother's death. It turns out that Cookie's boyfriend Rodney got into a fight with Uncle Brownie over Rodney's drunk driving. Even though he was drunk that night, Rodney still decided to drive, with Cookie on the back seat. An unfortunate accident then happened, claiming their lives and leaving Alora alone in her unforgivable world. As Garrett sighs for the loss of his friend, Alora thinks about the moment she found Daniel dead in their hideout. He committed suicide, but his friends didn't hold him responsible for it, as they believed that the town and the anxiety inflicted upon him by his parents made him do it. Back in the present, Alora passes her driving test and is all good to go for California. Everybody prepares for the California trip the following day. While Alora thanks her grandma for raising her, Cheese tells the grandma from the clinic his true identity, but she still considers him her family. As the friends meet again, Willie reveals that she is not going to California. Her father's words deeply impacted her, forcing her to wonder if she wants to leave her family. At first, the group is infuriated at her for changing the plans last minute, but they agree to respect her decision. When a hailstorm then happens, everyone takes refuge in the church's basement. Once there, an argument begins between the two teen gangs, but as the elders are sitting before them, they can't curse or beat each other. After a while, when Bear is unable to find Alora, Willie informs him about her secret meeting with Jackie. As Alora returns to the hall, Bear inquires about her meeting with Jackie. Instead of replying gently, Alora explodes in anger, accusing Bear of not being serious about their ambitions and being careless with the money. Seeing the two fight, Willie gets up and tells the crowd that she has canceled her trip to California, as she then won't be able to see her parents for the rest of her life. Just like Daniel, she wants to enjoy every moment she has left with them. Motivated by the heart-touching speech, Cheese also calls off his plan and decides to stick to his roots. After the storm subsides, everybody leaves the church basement. Bear then hugs Cheese and Willie and says his goodbyes, intending to talk things over with Alora during the trip. However, while Bear waits outside his home with his bags, Alora pulls up to Jackie's house instead, and the two of them leave for California together.
Uncle Brownie's weed jar.
Oh, weirdo. But you're glad you don't have to see him ever again. Or anybody else in this stupid town.
Yeah, totally.
And bet you're glad you're leaving those kids, too. Everything in the city is better. Everybody sticks to themselves. Nobody fucks with anybody else.
Sounds dope.